Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel and podcast. We started posting these on the podcast. Episode 10. Yeah?
Yeah.
Week 10? Yeah, we're going into week 11 right now, so yeah. Week 10. Jags are on bye.
Yep.
No, I'm lying. We played the Chiefs and got smacked.
Oh, that's right, because you're on bye next week.
We're on bye this week.
You're on bye next week. Yeah.
We lost by 10, which Matt was right. Don't bet the spread. It was 9. We lost by 10. Vegas is always right. But Pittsburgh played.
Hey.
The lights are yellow.
Hey, I haven't been able to do this a lot.
Yeah.
But we're doing it.
The boys came out, played well against the Saints.
TJ Watt coming back.
This is true.
We're making a playoff push for sure.
In that division, yeah.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think
we do play the Bengals though next week. If we can take that dub. No,
you guys can sweep.
Let's not do this because we know that they're not going to make it. Even if they did.
I mean, it's not going to mean anything if you guys make it, but I guess it means a little bit to the camaraderie of the team and, Kenny Pickett's development. So, that's good.
I guess, but
playoff experience for the young guns, but outside of that, how much does it really mean?
Not really a whole lot. A higher draft pick.
You mean a lower draft pick?
We have a lower draft pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I'm y'all,
I'm chilling right now. I feel like we're at that point. It's a cool win, but it'd be nice to have a nice little pick in the next year's draft and see who we pick up. So
offensive line help.
100%.
We're still defending offensive line help.
100%.
Is it still fire Matt Canada?
Oh yeah.
That hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed. Matt Canada is awful. Hire Big Ben. Big Ben can be our OC.
Where he just wants to throw it all the time.
Hey. I'd rather have him right now than Matt Canada.
You have no proof, though. It's like saying you'd hire Jeff Saturday.
It don't matter to me.
He hasn't done anything. It
don't matter to me. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think I could trust him to call a few plays. He may not work out, but has Matt Canada worked out?
No.
Okay, there you go. Now talking about the Chiefs and that.
We played. It looked a lot closer than it was. They really dominated on a lot of fronts. We knocked Juju out the game. I don't know if you've seen that hit.
No, it was disgusting.
It was awful. He went limp.
It was also kind of concerning looking.
Yeah, I think he will be out for this week as well. So
even if he's right, he'll be out.
You made fun of me last week also when I said I'm thinking about starting Kadarius Toney in my flex when I had to play him.
I did make fun of you, and he actually did play pretty well. And I mean, Andy Reid was going to get him the ball, and that's exactly what he did. He got them the ball.
Miko Hardman's on IR.
Mm-hmm.
Juju's probably out this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what time it is.
Is it also? I think MVS is questionable too.
You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
If you're an owner of Kadarius Toney, then you're feeling pretty good right now.
I have people hit me up right now asking what's his price in KNP. Don't worry about that.
You know Hosanna?
Don't worry about that.
What is his price?
I'd have to look at the roster. It's different for everybody. I don't know. I don't have a set price on Kadarius.
I'll give you a third-round pick.
I'm good. Right? I've rode the wave with Kadarius. I feel like in KickNPost, I did take him late, held him with that 0 points on the bench for so long, just waiting. I knew when he got the opportunity.
I feel like you should just ride it out even further. Don't even sell unless somebody's going to give you something absurd.
I'm keeping.
Just kind of.
I'm keeping him. I don't see a reson why. There's not an immediate need unless somebody's willing to give me something that can help me compete this year to sell him.
And his value is right here.
It's going up.
But it could be up here.
Going up. If he balls out this week, which the Chiefs play. Shoot, I don't know who the Chiefs play. For somebody who does sports podcasts, I don't keep on top of these things.
But it's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
We got to remember, we got jobs, right?
This is true.
It's hard to remember all this stuff.
Yeah, I know. We'd be working on some stuff. But, yeah.
This man works like 55 hours a week, bro.
It's 43, roughly.
43?
Sometimes. I worked 43 last week. They got mad. But I had to, bro. Just had to. It'd be like that sometimes.
Hey, got that overtime. Yeah.
Toney. Kelsey said it himself. He doesn't know how the Giants let him out the building, but he's happy they did. And, man, this week, with all those pass catchers missing,
He's a must start for sure. If you have Toney, I would start him. I know last week I was kind of poking some fun at you. I thought it would take him some more time to learn the offense, but clearly not. Clearly Kadarius Toney can just figure it out, and good for him. So
the thing is, who do I bench? This is a good question. Who do I bench?
What are your options?
James Conner. I could move James Conner to my RB2 spot.
Who's currently RB2?
Jeff Wilson. Yeah.
Starting running back.
Yeah.
Who's in your other flex spot?
Lenny's hurt, but they're on bye. I think I already pulled him. I have to look at what the starting lineup's looking like, but
I feel like you gotta put him in there somewhere.
I gotta find a way. It's Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams right now in the starting wide receiver spots.
Oh, we're talking about KickNPost?
Yeah, them boys not going nowhere. If Devontae Adams,
I think you have Thielen starting. If you have Thielen starting,
oh yeah, I'll pull him. Yeah,
forget about it.
I don't know if I still have him starting though, because I got Deontay.
I don't think because I remember I am looking at your team constantly to see what you're doing with Deontay, and I don't think you put him in the starting slot yet.
Last week I didn't.
I started. He's not a must start. He's actually a very questionable start right now.
I started Kate Otten over him though, which tight end premium. I thought I was being smart. Luckily, I was able to still pull it off. But
like I said before, Amal gets too cute sometimes.
Yeah, come on. But the week before, he finally broke out as like Brady's favorite target. It was like 6 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown, and with the tight end premium, that was 20 points. And I was like, I'm willing to try it again against Seattle, who was the 31st ranked team against tight ends. I don't think that's too cute.
You know, in that tight end premium league that we have, that's like 2 points per reception for tight ends?
KickNPost down, pretty much.
It's not that one. I'm talking about another one.
Oh.
It's actually winners take all.
Yeah.
I don't know
You're
if you
balling
noticed.
in that league. I'm also balling in that league.
I am. I'm doing pretty good. And
You're 8-2, I think. I'm 7-3 or something like that.
Yeah. I actually was able to finagle. I saw that you bid on him too. What was his name? It was Zach Ertz backup.
Oh, Trey McBride. Did you get him?
I got him over you. Yeah.
I knew everybody else would be sleeping on that, but I was like, might be able to pull something off here.
That's just like I think it's because I had Zach Ertz, so that was a really like big eye catcher for me. So now I have
put more too.
Yeah, I put like 6 on it. I think you put like 1.
Why did I put 1?
Oh no, you're not stingy with fab, so it's very possible that you just did not have one to work with.
It's week 11. We're going into week 11, and I broke down all my rosters, all 19 or like 20 of them, just going through 0 fab, 0 fab, 0 fab. I'm like, well, I guess this is my team going forward. I ain't getting nobody.
There is one league that we have. It's called Gods of Glory.
Oh yeah.
I'm straight dumpster.
I'm 11 and 9. I'm like middle of the pack.
I'm like freaking 5 and 16. I'm down bad.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know what to do. I don't have any assets. I'm just like, this league is just in the waters.
Sometimes it be like that.
It doesn't matter
what happens.
You know, it's all good. But anyways, going back to Kadarius Toney.
Yes.
Dynasty 2, which is what you have him in.
So many dynasties. I have him in like 4. I invested everywhere. Traded for him. Right? Gave up players. I was like, you know what? This person's producing right now, but I believe in Toney in the future. I'm just, that spark.
You believed in the talent.
Yeah, I was like, obviously he needs to be motivated. He had issues at Florida when they weren't winning games. He had issues in New York. And then they started winning games, and he still had issues because it's hard to erase all that history. All the stuff he was doing before, all the stuff he was doing in the offseason, and then just come back and reward a player for bad behavior. But I was like, if he's able to make it out of this stint and get starting reps or get somewhere else and stay healthy.
You seen that video of him?
Who's your favorite player? Patrick Mahomes. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I love it. He has a huge back tat. Have you seen it?
Nah.
It's the New York skyline and his jersey number.
Oh, okay. It doesn't
apply
anymore.
But... What now? What now, Kadarius?
You could do some Kansas City relief.
You could get cover up. Are you going to get a cover up every time?
What do you even get at Kansas City?
Arrowhead. You could just get
that is true.
The whole Arrowhead Stadium.
But that won't. Yeah.
There's not really much like landmarks, I think, in Kansas City.
Honestly, I think an arrow is like the best thing you can do.
It was such a bad idea. Never. He could have get his jersey number. Cool.
He's definitely, as a person, he's definitely out there. He's 100% out there, and that's always going to be the concern with Kadarius Toney. But he is in the best spot for him to be successful. He is in a great situation, great quarterback, great head coach, winning organization. There's really no excuses in this place. If he has any issues in Kansas City, it's like AB with Tampa. It's just
there's nothing to do there either to get him in trouble. Kansas City is very quiet.
Exactly. So like if you mess it up there, I don't know. I don't even know what you do with Kadarius Toney, but as of right now, he is a steal.
He's the asset of the week, asset of the year. Not to mention that it slipped my mind. It really slipped my mind.
I thought you were about to go into something.
I was about to go into something.
I thought you were about to be. You sound like
I remember now.
Disappointed. I was like,
I remember now. Him being so talented. Kyle Pitts also being so talented.
Okay.
Damian Pierce also being so talented. They're all on the Florida team at the same time.
Oh, for real?
And did nothing. How is that possible? That's something I wanted to bring up.
The Florida Gators.
How do you have those guys on the field? I think Van Jefferson was on that team too. How do you have all these guys on the team? He's an NFL wide receiver. Don't do that. How do you have all these guys on the team and do nothing? Kyle Trask was like a Heisman candidate.
He was.
And they couldn't.
Well, weren't they like... They were still a top 25
They were like
team.
a game out of going to the playoffs. And Marco Wilson, who sucks for the Cardinals right now too, he's a DB, threw a shoe at LSU.
Oh, that's the year that happened? I remember that.
He threw the shoe.
I remember that.
And it got him into like field goal range. And,
I remember
that. Was
That's
a big
hilarious.
moment for them. Yeah. But I think about some rosters now where you go back and you're like, how did that team not play well? Like USC. USC had Michael Pittman, Drake London, and Amon-Ra St. Brown on the field at the same time.
That's crazy.
Did not get 10 wins. How does that happen?
Who was the quarterback?
Keaton Slovis. I think he plays for Pittsburgh right now.
What does it even matter? He plays for Pittsburgh.
You could have been the quarterback. You had Michael Pittman, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would have been like,
Drake London. You literally have every aspect of the field covered. Amon-Ra St. Brown, short field, midfield. Michael Pittman, midfield, long field. Drake London, deep.
Yeah.
You have every angle.
And they couldn't figure it out.
Not even 10 wins. How?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I had to put it out there. When you think about some college rosters, how did they?
But then there's some out there that you can bring up that have done amazing, like LSU Tigers a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, and again, cheat code.
Straight.
Jamar, Justin, Burrow.
They had another one, didn't they? Who was the other one?
Keyshawn Butte, which his stock has been up and down.
Oh, there's another guy out there that was like really big. It was Jamar.
Oh yeah, Terrace Marshall. Terrace Marshall Jr. I mean CEH, but like
there's somebody else I'm thinking of, but maybe I'm tripping.
Randy Moss's son, who was a tight end.
I could be tripping.
There's really nobody else. I was about to say if you're still trying to find more than that.
I thought it was another receiver that was like a big name, but
Terrace Marshall was the other big name. He got drafted to Carolina.
Yeah.
He's been balling out lately too.
He's been doing pretty good, yeah.
Since Roby got moved. But yeah, there's Terrace Marshall, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase, and then Keyshawn Butte, which was a high-ranked prospect. He's not highly ranked right now anymore, but those four were the big four. And then Moss and CEH in the backfield. And of course, Joey B. UCF almost beat them in a bowl game. It's like they call it like Joey B's arc story. We were playing them in a New Year's Six bowl, and he threw a pick six, like a 99-yard pick six against us. And one of our linebackers, I think at the time, who I think plays in the league too, Terrence Plummer, he hit him. Like he wasn't looking, hit him, laid him out. He was gasping for air pretty much like on all fours. And he was talking smack to him and got us a flag. Yeah, that highlight clip gets played over and over again. They came back and beat us. And they said that's when things went crazy because it was after that year that they went.
Because it was like his comeback story.
After that year, they went crazy. Yeah. Which, shouts out to us. We were playing them with like a backup quarterback, stayed in it. But
I guess it seemed like that. Joey B, look at him now.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. They were playing quite a bit of freshmen, though, on the defensive side of the ball, but
even though
they were all 5 stars.
The words UCF makes me mad.
Why?
Because I think of Gabe Davis. And all the times I put prize picks on him, and he doesn't hit.
One thing I've learned about players like Gabe is the least I expect, the better I'll feel. So like last week, I benched him in a league. So I did a bunch of moves. Again, this happens to me every redraft season. I'm a top 2 or 3 scorer in the league, but I'm in 7th or 8th place. Every time I play somebody, I get their best game, right? Top 2 or 3 scorer. I made a bunch of moves. I traded Ramondre Stevenson for Gabe Davis and Brandon Ayuk. I traded Justin Fields and Devontae Smith for Michael Pittman. And
you did what?
We talked about this last week. You did the same thing, right? At the time, I traded Justin Fields because I have Jalen Hurts on the team and I have Teal.
Oh yeah, we talked.
He
about
would
this.
never.
We talked about this.
It's
a
single quarterback league. He would never start, right?
Okay.
So I had to make a move. All of a sudden, he's now the best quarterback in fantasy and possibly in the league. Still can't throw for 200 yards, but he runs for 150 and throws for 150 for 4 touchdowns. He's doing this every week now, but cool, right? Traded him and Devontae Smith to get Michael Pittman. Was shuffling the wide receivers. Wasn't sure who I wanted to start. Benched Gabe. It was like somewhat tough matchup. He's been underperforming. 6 for 99 and a touchdown, I think. I still won the matchup, but he was on my bench. If I go to play him this week, 1 for 15. Yeah, so I can't depend on him.
And
so
some people have been raising the question mark about Bills, and they're questioning about their second option at the receiver. I don't know if you've seen any of those videos or heard about it.
No.
People are questioning. At least I've noticed it a couple of times that they don't have like that number 2 yet.
I think it's jumping to conclusions, though. I don't think you should necessarily say you don't have a number 2.
Obviously you have a number 2. I'm not.
Compared to other teams, I feel like you're still in a better situation.
He's definitely solid, but I would say there could be, no offense to Gabe Davis, I think there could be better.
Yeah, but do you think that's attainable or like affordable?
I think for what the Bills are wanting. We just talked about this last week, where if you can go out there and get an asset,
but
winning, why don't you go do it?
But
if Gabe Davis is only good at catching the deep ball, and he's not really doing much else, he has been hit or miss. The only times he's hit is if he catches a deep ball. Correct?
I don't know. I've watched the tape. I don't think it's as simple as that.
Maybe not. But I'm just saying, I feel like I've watched enough.
The big explosion games, yes. If he's not catching something super deep, he's not really going to give you like the consistent 15 to 20 yard catches that somebody like Stephon Diggs does, right?
Well, I guess what the Bills should be looking for is somebody in the slot that's a little better, I guess. Which they might have that person. What's that guy's name?
Isaiah McKenzie. He's been up and down.
Well, Isaiah McKenzie. I'm talking about
Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir. I was like, maybe that's what they need to look for.
Khalil Shakir.
Because Gabe Davis does have a role. That's why it's like he is kind of, I guess, the wide receiver too. Because he does have a significant role, and he's pretty good at that role. He's good at catching those deep passes. He's done it multiple times. He did it twice versus my Steelers. So I can firsthand tell you that he is, but people are bringing up that question now of who is that other option behind Stephon Diggs. They have the talent, though. I mean, Dawson Knox is supposed to be talented. Gabe Davis is talented. So it may not even be a Gabe Davis problem. It could just be is Josh Allen not trying to be...
Too. I think you should be playing Stephon or Gabe in the slot at all times. You should, to be honestly, if I was coaching, you'd have one of those two because Gabe's taller and a bigger body. He's always going to be able to get you at least 10 running against a linebacker or something. Stephon Diggs on the outside, or vice versa. If you put Stephon Diggs in the slot to cook, or move him around like they do with Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp, it could get crazy. But I don't think they utilize him that way. I feel like they put them both on the outside, and they force Isaiah McKenzie in the slot, and then he becomes like a non-factor a lot of times. And not to mention your running game isn't really challenging the defense that much.
Well, it depends.
Devin Singletary has his days.
It just depends. Because if Josh Allen's towing that thing, it is hard to stop. But
he's doing a lot less of that now.
Which is good. And I think we spoke about that one time. That man needs to...
He's got to protect that elbow.
Slide. He got to slide. But yeah, I don't know. I think you're right, though. I think they are forcing Isaiah McKenzie to play a role that he's not very great at. And I think Isaiah McKenzie is fine. I was really high on him going into the season, and he's had his weeks where it's been pretty solid. But from a football perspective, like not even like a fantasy perspective, just a football perspective, he is very, drops passes, small body, more of a reception guy. I mean, he is good after the catch if you can get him in some space to really just take off. But when you have him catching balls in the middle of the field with 3 linebackers all crashing in at the same time, like, I don't know. I think you're right, though. They should get another, maybe Khalil Shakir. I want to see more of him, maybe, because Isaiah McKenzie doesn't really look
I freaking like watching that man play. Khalil Shakir's a brute.
Isaiah McKenzie just looks like he's out of place when I watch. I always look and I'm like, I see Stephon Diggs. Gabe Davis has his role, and Isaiah McKenzie does have his role, but I just don't feel like he is great at it. So
not at all. Not at all. And again, you talk about acquiring talent. What else? Who are you gonna go
well, now it's too
buy?
late, but
Yeah, but who would you have gone and buy at the deadline that would be within the Bills' range of like outcomes? Do they have their first round pick? I don't know if they do, and if they do, people expect it to be late. So like,
I'm trying to think who were the receivers that got moved? It was you know who would be? No, I was gonna say like, what about Jerry Judy?
DJ Moore would have been.
DJ Moore would have been that would have been way too much.
He fit in the slot pretty well for them.
I'm not saying fit wise. I'm just saying I don't think that's realistic.
If you're paying a first and another pick,
if that's what you're paying, but I'm looking at it like, what if you were able to get like a Jerry Judy?
Yeah, you could have gotten him too, but you don't believe in him that much. We're talking about somebody that we feel like we believe in heavily and would for sure be worth the pay him price.
If we're talking about that, then why not Brandon Cooks?
I think that I'm surprised they didn't make that move.
Because that would have been an instant. I think he's an upgrade over.
Insane.
I think he's an upgrade over Gabe Davis, but Gabe Davis doesn't need to have his role taken away. He still has his role. You could put now. We can do exactly what you're talking about. You can even put Cooks in the slot if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You can do really whatever the hell you want.
You could put Cooks on the outside,
and it puts Isaiah McKenzie just only if they're doing 4-man, wide receivers. But so yeah, I think that would have been a great move. I think Cooks would have been the more ideal one because he wouldn't have been too expensive because he is of
his contract
higher
is
age.
Expensive though. So I don't know if that's what they'd be worried about. They just re-upped. Didn't they re-up Josh Allen? They gave him a contract.
Did they?
They give Diggs a contract too?
Yeah.
They paid Diggs. I don't know.
But are they paying Gabe Davis?
They're not paying Gabe yet.
Are they paying... They did bring in Von Miller.
Oh, and his contract is loaded. But I think it's a lot of, like, empty money right now. Like
I want to say it's, like, incentives-driven.
The contract is massive, though.
But then other than that, like, you do have those top two safeties. Tre'Davious White, I'm sure, is still eating at the
contract. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like out of all the options, though, if you're thinking about someone that can kind of come in right now and be pretty solid, I think Cooks is the most ideal. I mean, obviously DJ Moore is the most ideal, but that much you would have to pay for him would be insane. So
such a high price, but honestly, pay it, bro.
Just imagine though.
Yeah.
Imagine if DJ Moore was on the Packers.
Oh yeah, well, especially with how Christian Watson's playing right now. Maybe the Packers were up to something. I mean, they're gonna lose this game tonight, but Christian Watson, 2 touchdowns last week, 2 touchdowns this week.
He had 2 touchdowns last week.
Oh my bad, he had 3 touchdowns last week on 4 catches, and then this week he has 2 touchdowns.
Put up a 3. Okay. What do you mean like that? I mean, like, anytime you ask a guy, that's what I heard. They'll never do it like that. They'll always will be like,
yeah, it's just easy. It's just easy. I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. Well, who knows? I mean, now it's over. Trade deadline's over, so nothing's really going to happen for a while. But all these what ifs would have been very interesting. Obviously, if we're owners, we would make these things happen, right?
I mean, you like to believe so, but
I would make these things happen.
Nah, man, you wouldn't even let the Eagles get Kamara. They could have used
that boy. Okay, but did I not at the end of it go, you know what, you were right?
Yeah, they could have used that boy this week.
Why?
Because they lost.
Okay, so let's talk about this. First of all, do you have anything you want to say about it?
I think it was a good game. I think it's an overreaction for people to say that they got exposed. I think Taylor Heineke played an okay game. I feel like the defensive line got bullied by Washington's offensive line, which is crazy to say. The fact that Brian Robinson had 86 rushing yards and looked really good when most of the year he has not looked that great. Antonio Gibson got off a little bit. Terry McLaurin had another big day against them. Like, things were just kind of clicking for Washington. They figured out the game plan is to control the clock. It's what Tennessee's been living on for the last 8 weeks. Control the clock, control the time of possession, and don't give a good team too many opportunities to score points. And they ate on turnovers, too. They got Jalen Hurts to turn the ball over. They ate off a fumble that shouldn't have been a fumble. I know it, taking responsibility as a team and Jason Kelsey being like, we had the opportunities to win, but that wasn't a fumble. That was a face mask. Got to get that call right. Right? But there's other opportunities that they kind of floundered on. Yeah. I saw Jalen revert a little bit to not going through his progressions, especially at the back end of the game. He kind of dropped his head on a certain play that I remember specifically. The pocket was okay. The pocket was solid, and instead of like going through his reads, he dropped his head and ran into the rush. Look at the play.
I'm not saying you're wrong,
But
but I do not care.
I'm not saying like that's like something we should worry about going forward. I'm just saying that was something he did late in the game when he should have been kind of keeping up the pace that he was playing at for the last 8 weeks.
Philly's defense could not stop the Commanders whatsoever.
Correct.
They had the time of possession by ×2 over the Eagles,
Probably by
and
the
they
end of the game
still managed to score 21 points. And you're trying to put any type of blame on Jalen Hurts?
I'm not putting blame. I'm just saying like that was a
Why are you even
bad
pointing
play.
it out?
Because it was a bad play.
One bad play. What's so serious? There's so many other plays that you could be talking about.
I could talk about Darius Slay getting cooked, but
Darius Slay getting cooked by Terry McLaurin pretty much all game.
yeah, I could talk about that.
Here's
I already said it too. The defensive line didn't get as much pressure as I'd expect, but they did a really good job of not giving Taylor Heineke long progressions to go through. It was get the ball out as soon as possible to whoever is there, right? And sometimes it would be Terry McLaurin 20 yards down the field, and other times it would be something quick to Curtis Samuel. They even got him involved in schemes, running the ball, running out the backfield, catching sweeps.
Really,
they were very creative.
Off-brand Debo out here, but
yeah, they were creative. He was the original though.
He was on it before Debo?
Him in Carolina, yeah, with Ron. He was starting to get on that pace before he had all those injuries and Ron left. They utilized him like that in Carolina.
Interesting. Well, here's my thing about the Eagles. I think that if you're an Eagles fan, you have really. What is she doing?
She's crunching all the food in the world while we're recording because that's how she get down.
Sounds like someone's like rubbing their ass around here.
And then my mom's snickering because she hear her crunching all the food while she's on her way out.
Oh, it's your mom.
You stay warm, Mom. And I'm leaving this in too so you can see it.
It's gonna be one of those, right?
Yeah, I'm leaving this in so you can hear yourself and you can see it. Alright, so check it out.
Hey, are you?
Hey, you know how we do.
Yes. Yes. Support from moms. That's what we like to see.
All the way.
And 395 of y'all. Actually, 396 since I last checked.
Shout out to y'all.
396. I am not joking.
Yes, that's awesome.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
396 of them. It's nuts. We shoot for 400 by the end of the week. Probably by tomorrow morning, honestly.
I just accidentally said, sounds like someone rubbing their ass over here, and your mom walks around the corner.
It was freaking Willie.
No, it was your mom. She was carrying like a blanket.
Was it the jacket? Ah, it might be the jacket. Sorry, Mom. You know how this goes.
I didn't know it was. But anyways, going back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
So, as Philly, I'm not really too concerned about them. Now, I will say this: there is one thing I will point out that is concerning about Philly right now, and that is that run defense. They got cooked, and they have Derrick Henry on the schedule. They got the Cowboys on the schedule. I know the Cowboys.
They ain't gotta worry about that no more, man.
What do you mean? What?
They fixed that run defense problem today.
What they do?
They signed Ndamukong Suh to a 1-year deal.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, regardless.
That shit fixed. Well, I'm sorry.
They said, F that.
Yeah, they said Brian Robinson for 86 yards. All right, let's go ahead and address that real quick. Put Ndamukong Suh right up the nose.
That's hilarious. Well, okay, maybe what I'm saying is, well, so he's old though, so they still have a problem. They still have a problem there. They still have a problem at the run defense, so they got to correct that. But here's the thing: so much bad things had to happen for Philly to lose. I mean, you have a fumble that was clearly a face mask, and I agree with what Jason. His name Jason.
Yeah, Jason Kelce.
Jason Kelce. I like what he was saying. You know, there's plenty of other times in the game to win the game. Can't blame it on one call. I get that, but shit, it was a pretty bad call. Pretty obvious too. It wasn't like the hand just so happened to hit the face mask. No, this thing was tugged, and this whole body went down. That was an awful call, and it was a very significant call. But regardless of that, they still missed that. And then you also have Jalen Hurts throwing not a dime, but a really good pass to Quez. Should be a touchdown. I don't know if you watched it. I don't know if you noticed. But he did not have confidence in his hands, so he fell with the ball in his hands, trying to secure the catch, which I have no problem with. But you got to realize, as a receiver, there's somebody right behind you. When you catch the ball and come to the ground because you don't have faith in your hands.
You're talking about the one he slipped and kind of like forced the fumble and they lost it. Yeah.
You gotta have confidence in your hands. You gotta catch that thing in stride, and that's a possible tutty right there.
Yeah, he would have been gone.
That was a possible. So that's a really bad play. Jalen Hurts did everything he could right there.
AJ Brown non-existent.
AJ Brown, I will say though, it looked like he was a little nicked up. But regardless, even if you're on the field, we're expecting something. If you're nicked up and you can't play, you're only gonna do one catch for what, 3 yards or whatever. Then you might as well just not even play. Devontae Smith did his thing. Dallas Goedert got hurt. There was something else that happened that
Miles
was
Sanders didn't really get going on the ground that well.
That's another thing. Okay, you see what the Commanders are doing. Why are we even throwing the ball as much? Why Miles Sanders? Anytime he touched the ball that night or that game, he did well. He was averaging like 5 yards a carry. Was running the ball well. Jalen Hurts isn't running the ball as much. There's a lot of things that was just very odd to me, and they kept on wanting to pass the ball, and I get it. Maybe that's what they were trying to. Expecting
Washington
them to
has
run.
one of the worst secondaries in the league, and in the previous game, they put up numbers on them. So maybe they should have been thinking, if they were going to address anything, it was pass defense. Because Devontae Smith went for like 6 catches and 159 yards the first game they played, 2 touchdowns. I think AJ Brown had 102, and this was like 90% first half stats. And I don't know. They probably thought they come
To
in
me,
there
though,
and do it
it's
again.
like the Eagles are a run-first offense, and Miles Sanders had 3 carries going into the half. It was around 3 carries. I don't know exactly the number, but it was like around there.
Yeah.
That's just not going to do it. You got to have a better scheme going on right there. You see what the Commanders are trying to do. They're trying to keep away, and you're just passing the ball for 3 downs and then going to 3 and out. Well, what do you think is going to happen? So, anyways, like I said, a lot of things had to happen. Also, the last play of the game. Jalen Hurts would have had a chance. He would have had another shot. And then, what's his name? Had a roughing the passer call on Tyler.
How do you feel about the call?
I think it was the right call.
I think so too. I think it was very smart, but I don't know. Like,
Seemed,
what are you asking? What are you asking defensive players to do at this point?
I feel like with that last play of the call, I think it was the right call. I'm not going to hate on it, but it does bring up a question mark there. Like, I could see myself messing that up on accident. How many times do you see a quarterback just kneeling, other than
5 yards into the backfield? It was super smart.
It was
because he did that on purpose,
and he was waiting for it too. I don't know if you saw his interview with, I think it was Pat McAfee, and he was like, "Yeah, I kneeled down and was hoping that somebody would hit me," and he saw him coming, and he was like, "Hit me, please."
Yeah.
So it was very smart of him. Heads up play by Heineke. I don't know. As a defensive player, I just don't know how you're gonna really stop right there. I feel like
because can he fake it? Imagine if you hit him with and then didn't go down and now spins. You gotta complete the play. I don't know what you could do in that aspect. I mean,
the only argument though is he gave himself up. But and I know that Kenny Pickett technically, but he never had his knee down. He never. Really...
I know, but he faked it. Which this guy, he didn't fake it, but it was literally like, as I'm diving to get to you, you take the knee. Like as I'm in motion, I'm supposed to just throw myself sideways or something like mid motion.
It's hard. It's definitely a tough call, and I think that's something that they're always going to protect the quarterback. Though we know how we've listened to the announcers. Yeah, they're always going to protect the quarterback. That's what they say every single time, every game. I swear to God, I hear that once. So I mean, it is what it is. It's a tough call. They're going to protect the quarterback. I just don't know if there's really much we can do about that. But it's tough. I mean, if as a defensive player, you are in the middle of a motion, even if they're kneeling down, they can still technically get up and run, even though he technically gave himself.
Quarterback couldn't.
Even though he could.
If he didn't get touched, he can't get up. Once you put your knee down, you're down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you could like kneel the game down the same way as once you kneel and give your.
I didn't think about it like that.
It's down.
But I don't know.
It's a timing thing.
It's a tough thing. But like I said, a lot of bad things had to happen for the Eagles to lose. Time of possession was cut in half, and it was still pretty much a 1-score game. I know it was a 10-point lead, but it was because of the end of the game. But it was a 1-score game. Really, time of possession was cut in half. 3 turnovers from Philadelphia. They only had 3 turnovers all year coming into this game. Jalen Hurts. Also, this is one thing I didn't point out. He threw a deep ball to A.J. Brown that was turned into a pick. That was catchable. That went through A.J. Brown's hands.
Yeah.
So when your receiver is catching the ball and then it just tips, goes the wrong direction. Like I said, it's just a bad game for Philly. They've also made a lot of mental mistakes. They need to do something about that run defense. Sounds like they're in the middle of fixing that problem.
So is a great addition.
So they're in the middle of fixing that issue. So maybe that's going to be fixed. So I'm not worried about them. I think as long as Philly,
I don't think they'll lose many games this year. Still,
I don't think so either. I think if you're out here saying that Philly is fake or whatever, you are just being stupid.
they've compared them to your 11-0 Steelers. That is wild. You're not watching the games if that's what you think. Is that you?
That's my text message.
Okay, as long as I thought it was one of these, it could be you. I don't mind. Right?
Loud. Oh my
But
God.
I am of the opinion that they still won't lose that many games.
Yeah, and even though people talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, first of all, that's gonna make me mad if we talk about that. I don't want to talk about that because we are still 11-0. You are still beating 11 NFL teams. I do not care how pretty it was. We still got it done. All right, moving on.
That was the worst 11-0 team of all time.
I don't care.
I'm not even.
When's the last time you went 11-0?
I'm not even gonna bring it up. I've never. But
When
it
was
looked
last time?
You know what's crazy? It looked as good as my 2-11 season, my 2-15 season.
It don't matter.
Y'all looked
Y'all
the
gonna make the
exact
playoffs?
same.
Did
Y'all
we make
looked
the
the
playoffs?
exact same.
We made the playoffs, baby.
Yeah, shouts out to
We
y'all.
made the playoffs.
Yeah, I got mollywopped. That shit crazy.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. Shouts out to the 11-0 Steelers. Yeah.
You're being real disrespectful right now.
Send Big Ben out on a high.
What's going on right here?
Nice, yo.
Take a win. Take a win.
Nah, it's good. And you think you're out of the division. I don't think you guys are out of the division. Especially with TJ Watt getting back. Anything could happen. Anything could happen.
I mean, I will see. I mean, the only thing that I'm hoping for is if we somehow manage to get Mike Tomlin his undefeated record.
The only issue is...
Not undefeated, but
the Ravens are playing the easiest schedule in the NFL for the rest of the year after they come out of the bye. So...
But they still play the Bengals, they still play the Steelers, or they play the Browns one time.
Yeah.
Those are still teams that are competent. I don't care what people are saying. They're still solid teams.
They're playing us, which... We dangerous. We dangerous.
This man does not just look at me in my eyes and say, we dangerous. We
dangerous. Keep laughing. I might take this money line against the Jags. I mean, against the
Alright, when do they play?
This, after we both come out of bye. We play Thanksgiving weekend.
So right now, I'll take the Bengals over the Jags.
You take the
Ravens. I'll take the Ravens over the Jags.
Okay, I'll keep the Jags on that one. But that's like, we're going 2 episodes out.
Hey.
Now, I'll keep that.
Y'all heard it.
I might put a bag on that one. I might load my flip up and go crazy. I'm just saying. I like it. Travis Etienne, go crazy. Christian Kirk, go crazy.
Christian Kirk had 2 tutties.
Yeah. You know he's number 1 in, I think, receptions in the red zone, yards in the red zone, and touchdowns in the red zone.
In the NFL or for the team?
In the NFL. As a wide receiver. Yeah. I'm telling you.
You know what I did the other day?
What?
Oh, no, I didn't do anything.
Huh?
No, I was trying to think of something. I was ahead of the game on something, but I don't remember what it was. Right. Oh, I traded away... It wasn't a good trade now. I don't know if it was a good trade now.
You traded Allen Robinson away?
No.
Oh. Because it's back.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Back.
Oh, I'm so sorry for anybody that has Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
It is.
R.I.P.
You know what's wild? I'm saying Allen Robinson's back, but I've said this already. They have Cooper Kupp on the team still. He's still there. They're going to give him number 10. He's going to get anointed. They're going to put him out there in the Kupp jersey wearing number 10. That's freaking everybody out.
Hey, Tyler Higbee.
Yeah. That's all it's going to be.
When's one dude coming back?
Who?
He's hurt. Been hurt all year. We talked about earlier in the episode today.
For the Rams?
Yeah.
Van Jefferson.
Is he back?
Oh, yeah. People have been picking him up off waivers, too. Don't do that. But, nah. I feel like it might be Ben Skoronek's season.
What do you mean don't do that?
I don't think Van Jefferson's really going to be that guy. But, hey, I thought Paris Campbell wasn't that guy.
I don't think he's going to be that guy, but he was a top 30 receiver last year.
Top 3? Oh, you mean on
top
the team?
30.
Top
30 with Cooper Kupp and OBJ on the team?
I think he was not top 30.
How much you want to bet?
He was not top 30.
Okay, well, because I think it was like 32, 33. Like, that's where he was at.
But look.
How much you want to bet?
You know what's crazy?
How much you want to bet?
If you go and look, it's off of 2 games. I guarantee
How much you want to bet?
So if we're really going to...
he was a top 30 receiver last year.
How much...
In fantasy. Okay, I'm not talking about real life. I'm talking about
what
fantasy.
Was his rank per game? Tell me that. Not his overall rank.
I couldn't even tell you that about anybody.
Okay. His rank per game was probably atrocious.
Let me look what he was ranked because I'm telling you right now.
Because he had 2 big games.
Okay, we'll see.
2.
You know, every single time we've done this, I've always been mostly right.
Yeah, well, who cares? Nobody's giving you points. You don't get brownie points for that. Give a crap about you being right. He still sucks. Paris Campbell still sucks too. Never gonna let it go, Paris. Still don't like you.
31 and 36. So 36 in PPR. What did I say?
Top 30. Sounds like you're wrong.
I said it could be like 32. I didn't. I just said that.
You said like 32,
All right,
33.
so then he had
now it's 36.
19.25, 21, 14.3, 12.55, 21.55, 16.10, 18.15, 10.8. That doesn't sound
How many
like
weeks
2
did you
games.
just read? 6?
For the wide receiver 3 behind Cooper Kupp and OBJ.
So you love him.
I don't love him. I'm just saying.
So that's
if you like Alan Lazard, if you want them type of people, I think he could easily be just a top 30 receiver. Again,
I don't trust anybody in this offense.
I don't think that's crazy to say.
I'm gonna be real with you.
I think Van Jefferson could be a top 30 receiver in fantasy football. That's not crazy to say. He was a top 30 receiver last year. There's no Cooper Kupp. There's no OBJ. Allen Robinson has been nothing all year. You have Ben Skoranek as the wide receiver freaking 2 wide receiver 1 right now, really.
Don't get it twisted.
And Tyler Higbee. I think it's not crazy for us to say that Van Jefferson can be a top, and we won't even know because he won't even have a full season under his belt. I think he will be a competent pickup. I think he will be a decent pickup. This is also the man that said, he laughed at me for picking up Tony Pollard before the season.
That's not true. That's not true.
100%. Because we did a mock draft. I'm not even playing. We did a mock draft.
That you were picking up Tony Pollard?
We did a mock draft.
Matt,
I picked up.
Don't try to
No,
lie.
No. I'm not even playing. I put this on my son's life.
You don't even like kids. That's how you lying. There's no world.
I'm really not playing them. I'm really not playing them. I picked up Tony Pollard at like round 8 or something.
Okay.
Or so I don't know.
Yeah, if it's early, then
I don't remember the round. I'm not gonna lie. It
was early,
but I still picked up Tony Pollard, and you were like, you spent all that time to pick up him.
Yeah, because it was like I think around 6 or 7 or something crazy.
It wasn't around 6 or 7.
It was something mad.
No,
early.
you don't remember exactly.
If that's what the case is,
I don't. Okay,
that's why
I do not remember the draft spot, but it's all based off of ADP. So if ADP, I wasn't gonna
black and yellow. You also were forced to do that because I picked up 4 running backs in 4 rounds. So like,
I didn't pick
that's
up Tony
different.
Pollard.
So which league are you
I don't have
about?
Tony Pollard. I'm just saying we did a mock draft. I picked him up because it was ADP. Tony Pollard was at the top of my list. Yes, but you laughed at me for picking up Tony Pollard.
It was a mock draft and you were thinking so hard to pick up Tony Pollard.
It's a 2-minute timer.
That doesn't
I thought about it for like 45 seconds.
Like a real league.
I don't care, but you still laughed at me. That tells me everything I need to know about what you were saying. What you were saying about Tony Pollard. This man tried. No, Tony Pollard is successful now. Tony Pollard doing his thing now. Now he's acting.
Last year,
different.
you knew my take on Tony Pollard was still the same. As long as Zeke's in the backfield, they're going to try to force the ball to Zeke. Tony Pollard's obviously the better player, but they're going to force the ball to Zeke, and that has not been wrong. He's only blown up. Why? Because Zeke's been on the sideline. And even Jerry Jones has been pushing. As soon as Zeke's back to health, we're going to feed him the ball again. That's the facts of the matter. So, of course, I laughed in a mock draft when it's like 11 p.m., and you're here thinking so hard about who you're going to pick.
I took like 30 to 45 seconds. You that impatient.
It's a mock draft.
I don't care what it is, bro. I will overthink everything.
It's funny that in a mock draft we're thinking that.
But why didn't you think that? Why didn't you say anything about all my other picks I took 30 to 45 seconds on?
I just thought it was funny that it was Tony Pollard in a mock draft.
So if Tony Pollard is the one that's funny.
In a mock draft, yeah.
Okay, because I spent 30 to 45 seconds on anybody, on every single person.
Not in the first round. You was
okay, not the first round.
Second round, he was clicking fast. Third round, he was clicking fast.
No. I think starting third, fourth round, I was thinking about it pretty hard.
You are wilding. In a mock draft where it didn't mean anything, that's crazy.
But you still told me exactly what you thought about him. You laughed. Tony Pollard? Ha!
This man, that's what you picked up off. That's crazy.
And I was
I gotta walk on eggshells. I gotta walk on eggshells. I can tell you 1,000 things.
Here's the thing.
And then you'll pick that one moment and be like, "Oh yeah, you thought Tony Pollard was trash."
Here's the thing.
Okay.
At this point in my fantasy football career, I didn't know much about fantasy football. So I actually avoided Tony Pollard because of your comment. You don't even realize how much impact you have.
Matt.
You laughed at me for taking him in a mock draft, so I'm like, I can't take him in a real draft.
Zeke had to get hurt.
I don't matter. Even when Zeke has been playing, he's still been all right.
He's been a good flex play, but if you're investing...
A good flex play in like the 10th roundish? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, if it's a 10th rounder.
I'm pretty sure I was taking him in the 10th round.
If it was like the 8th round of a mock draft, of course that's funny.
I threw that number out there because I don't know. I was just throwing that number out there.
You're also throwing the fact that I think Pollard's not good off of a mock draft.
You laugh.
Why
didn't you laugh about the other 30 mock drafts that we did?
It's a mock draft. You really are basing my opinion of a
It doesn't matter.
Off of
if
a mock
you
draft.
sit here and you pick up Deontay Johnson, and I'm like, haha, why would you pick Deontay Johnson?
I didn't say that. If I spend 45 minutes in the
45
fourth
minutes on a 2-minute timer.
Yeah, if I spend 2 years in the fourth round
I
to pick
spent like
Deontay
45
Johnson.
seconds, and it doesn't matter because I spend 45 seconds on every single. I take my time because even though it's a mock draft, I want to make sure it's a good team.
You're not gonna make my take on a mock draft where I jokingly laughed at it. Be the take on Tony Pollard.
No, you were like, haha, you picked Tony Pollard out of all the people.
You are wildin'. You are wildin'.
And here's the thing: the funny part is, I'm not gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring it up, but I can't stand behind it because I don't remember clearly. But I remember something right afterwards. You were saying some shit about Tony Pollard, but I don't remember exactly. So I'll let you have it.
God.
I'll let you have it. But I think that I remember you saying.
You don't
something.
remember me touting Tony Pollard last year either, which is wild. You just remember that one moment.
Last year we didn't play fantasy football last year.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, I picked up this abandoned team.
No. But you were asking me opinions on other people's teams as well, on like who to help out. And I told people all the time, go with Tony Pollard. It was like Tony Pollard or some other running back. It was a friend of yours who was playing in the league. And you're wondering who he should pick up, right? And I was like, obviously Tony Pollard's the best option.
You're not doing this. Tony Pollard you remember I don't remember the options exactly, but we're talking about the scrubs.
It wasn't just scrubs. It was a running back, a wide receiver, and another
We were talking about on waiver.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, why is Tony Pollard even on waivers? It's crazy.
You tweaking, bro.
It's crazy.
You're like, okay, out of all these bums, I picked Tony Pollard.
No, that's not how I said it either. But you know what, Matt?
I didn't say you said it like that. I'm just saying, like, you can't compare that.
I think I also have video proof on the channel of how I feel about Tony Pollard. But you know, Matt doesn't.
Probably during the season.
I don't watch. He doesn't watch my videos.
Probably during the season.
What?
You said your opinion about Tony Pollard probably during the season when he's been doing
pre-season. Good. We did preseason for all the teams. Well, try to do all the teams. Cowboys did get out there though before we stopped. And I have my statement on Tony Pollard. So if y'all want to hear how I feel about Tony Pollard, check that. Don't check Matt. Check that.
Hey, I'm just telling y'all what he said to me in
a mock draft at 11 p.m.
Oh, you know the time? Oh, it was 11 p.m.?
It was probably later than that, to be honest. But you can have
What time is it right now?
I thought Tony Pollard was bad.
What time is it right now?
10:56.
So at 11 p.m. you just don't know what you're doing anymore?
No, I just think
so
it's
hilarious. We have 4 minutes with them all before he just doesn't know what he's doing anymore.
I think it's just hilarious to base my statements off of a mock draft.
It doesn't matter if it's a mock draft. If I say a name and you laugh, that's going to tell me that you don't really have a lot of care for that name I just said.
You could have spent 45 seconds and picked anybody, and I would have made the statement. Because you're thinking that deeply.
I don't think you would have.
You're thinking
because you didn't with anybody else.
You're thinking that
you didn't say that with anybody
draft.
else, but you said that about Tony Pollard.
That's why.
But you said
it could have been anybody.
You didn't say anything about
You could have drafted
anybody.
your second quarterback.
No.
You could have went Jalen Hurts in the 8th round.
I drafted Antonio Brown in the middle of it. You didn't say anything. But the minute I did Tony Pollard.
You didn't draft Antonio Brown.
You didn't like the I did the last pick of the draft.
Yeah, and you weren't paying. You didn't spend 45 seconds to pick Antonio Brown in the
But still,
pick.
No. It's not crazy.
One,
it's not crazy for me to say that.
You're not getting this one, Matt.
I don't need to get this one.
I have video proof on the channel.
That's fine. That's fine. You can have the video proof, but I know what I heard.
Yeah.
And I know what I heard.
Mock draft.
I know what I heard.
45 seconds.
It don't matter if it's a mock draft.
And now it's my...
It's not a joke. You didn't say that about anybody else.
Matt.
You didn't say that about anybody else. And I remember, so like I said, I can't exactly word it, but I remember you saying like, oh, no, Tony Pollard, no. Taking it out early, I don't love it.
Yeah, because it was probably early.
It goes based on ADP. I don't mock drafts. I'm not out here scrolling through RBs and I find Tony Pollard 30 pages down.
45 seconds to pick.
Because I'm over here thinking about my options. I'm thinking about Tony Pollard. Okay, there's Tony Pollard here. There's probably Cordell around here. There's probably a few other people around here. I'm thinking about my options. Who do I want to take? I'm an overthinker. I'm going to overthink about it. I'm like, you know what? I like Tony Pollard. Zeke's getting a little older. He has a lot of work on him. Tony Pollard's a good handcuff. Let me take Tony Pollard. Then all of a sudden I hear in my damn headset, because I think we're playing PlayStation.
I think we were playing PlayStation.
And then you were like, out of all the time, you took Tony Pollard.
Yeah. It could have been any
That's
player.
what you decided.
You'd have gotten the same.
That's what, because I remember maybe that's what you're like. That's who you decided on. That's what you were saying. Out of all the people, that's who you decided on, making it sound like that was just an awful pick.
I really gotta walk on eggshells around that. That's what I've learned today. If I make any reference to anything, if I make any little giggle or a joke because this man was taking 2 years to pick on a mock draft. Then it's obviously gospel. That's how I feel 100%. So I'm sorry, Matt, if I deterred you from drafting Tony Pollard anyway.
All jokes aside, now that ass you did make me not want to draft.
I don't even know what to say.
Because even though all jokes aside, for real though, you did kind of react a little bit, like, and you didn't like make it known that it was a joke. You were like, no, for real, like, out of all the time you took Tony Pollard.
I didn't say for real.
You didn't say that part, but I'm just saying, like, you were
I
like,
did not double down.
You did, but you didn't make it sound like you were laughing. You were just kind of like, all that time you took Tony Pollard.
Okay, next time I'll make sure to make it clear.
So then I was like, oh shoot. So even though
I feel like we reviewed the teams afterwards as well, and it didn't go that bad, but.
You're like the fantasy guru at that time in my mind, so I'm like, well, shoot, if Amal thinks it's a bad pick, then maybe I shouldn't take him.
I've clearly been exposed as that now, so.
What do you mean?
Trade to Ramondre Stevenson for Portland Sutton in the league. I clearly don't know what I'm doing, so.
Wasn't it black and yellow? Didn't I tell you I didn't love that?
I didn't either, but I needed a running back. I mean, a wide receiver, and nobody wanted to help me out.
And you wanted to buy a low on Portland Sutton.
Yeah.
Even though I told you could have talked to me about Christian Kirk.
Yeah. Life, man.
But you didn't want to talk to me about Christian Kirk.
No, I didn't. It's life, man. You know, some people suck your fantasy, some people are just good. You know, Matt knew Tony Pollard was going to get the starting role by week 9.
Even then, he's been solid.
He's okay, Matt.
He's had pretty good games with Zeke there.
I feel like anything over 5 points you call a good game.
No, I don't say that.
I feel like everything is very.
So do I need to pull up the receipts too? I'm not saying that this man's freaking Jesus. I'm just saying like this. It's been pretty solid.
Sound like it.
Let me pull it up.
Here we go again. 12, 14.
That's good for a backup running back.
Oh, that's a flex play. You're shooting for upside.
That's good. It's a starter on your team.
When I said flex
that
play,
is a starter on your
play,
team.
He's higher than a flex play. Okay.
What? That was pulling shit out their ass.
Run it back.
Oh, yeah, because recently he's been able to be more than a flex player.
After Zeke got hurt, but it's cool.
Doesn't matter, but he was a handcuff. That's who he is.
Here we go.
Is he not a handcuff?
12, 14, 16.
Second game, 19.80. 14.60.
I told you.
33.70. 21.80. And then he has some 7.2, 4.2.
Nuts. This man made sure to throw the ones that Zeke wasn't playing too.
The number one. Okay, so Zeke didn't play week 2?
No, I
so
think
Zeke didn't play week 3?
No, you went.
Zeke didn't play week 5?
You went and grabbed.
Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm telling you. I hear that 33, and we knew.
Yeah, I'm gonna include
Zeke wasn't playing.
I don't care. If
and
he
I heard that 21.
I don't care.
And I knew Zeke wasn't playing.
People are drafting Tony Pollard because he has a handcuff. That is part of the process of drafting Tony Pollard. Is that not? Is that not the part of the reason why people draft Tony Pollard?
You are really good at controlling the narrative.
Is that not why people?
I give you that.
So Tony Pollard.
We start this conversation for you to pull the phone out, saying that while Zeke was on the field, he was a good flex play. And you make sure to include the stats where Zeke isn't on the field to argue your point.
So he wasn't playing week 2 when he's dropped 20 points.
Matt, you should have only listed 2 to 3 numbers.
I don't care about that. I'm just
2 to 3
saying
numbers.
People
draft. You know what you added?
So why do people draft Alexander Madison?
Hey,
why do people draft people like that?
You're getting loud with me, sir. What I'm saying is, we started the conversation when Zeke's on the field. Correct or incorrect?
I don't recall that. I don't recall that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
You just pulled the phone. We said when Zeke's on the field.
And didn't I not just prove that he was a decent starter?
What numbers did you include in the back end of that, Matt?
Okay, that's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, fuck those numbers. Without those numbers, he has a 20-point game. He has a 10.5 game. He has a 14.6 game.
You just said 10 points. points. I told
As a
you.
flex play that you pick up
I told
as
you
a
were
player
gonna do
you pick
this.
up in the
I
10th
told
plus
you.
rounder?
I told
As somebody
you.
you pick up in the later than the 10th round.
I told you.
Are you
cooking
kidding
this
me?
man.
He is the number 18 running back right now.
I told you.
You draft him potentially
you.
because Zeke might go down for a few games.
He's going to be a good player. And I said it. 12 points. 14 points.
Are those bad games?
No, those are flex plays. And I agreed with that. And then you were like, no. Even with Zeke, he isn't just a flex play.
Because I was talking about when Zeke went down. Yes, he was able to be a starter. Yes,
obviously.
He has been starting running back caliber.
Yes, he's a top 5 running back when Zeke's not on the field.
I didn't say top 5.
He is a top 5 start.
Well, he didn't do that. The numbers.
He's a top 5 start with Zeke not on the field. We knew that already. But that's not the argument we were making. We were arguing when we started the season, we're expecting Zeke to be on the field. Obviously, if you're drafting for Zeke to get hurt, cool. But if you're just drafting in a vacuum,
not part of your mindset when you draft him?
Yeah.
Who wants to draft just a backup, just to expect them never to play? Yeah, you're drafting.
Yeah, but you're drafting a backup in the 8th round is the argument that we were making. That's the 8th round.
Why are we doing the 8th round? I just said that.
I'm just saying like that's.
It looks like in this league.
You know what I'm saying?
In this
because
league,
that's
I'm
roughly
right
where
now.
his ADP was, Matt. That was the argument. His
ADP
ADP
right here,
was
he was 10th round. He was a 10th rounder.
Yeah, but roughly his ADP was 8th round, 8th to like that range usually. So that was the argument. Now Zeke's hurt. Everyone can rejoice, right? Even with Zeke coming back this week, I'm not too confident in the knee. He's probably still going to get a lot of the work, even though Jerry Jones doesn't love that.
So you're saying that Tony Pollard hasn't been solid, even when Zeke was playing?
I think Tony Pollard was a solid flex play, like I said before, when Zeke is playing. Because you could bet on getting maybe around 7 to 10 points, maybe a good week if he falls into the end zone. But you can't guarantee anything more than that without Zeke being off the field. Yeah. That's my statement. That is it. Yeah. Now that Zeke's injured, you've won. You won the lottery.
I don't have Tony Pollard.
That's what happens when you own Tony Pollard. Once Zeke goes down, and now it's a knee, so it's gonna linger. You won the lottery. You're gonna have a starting running back on your team probably for the rest of the year. Now, if they keep forcing Zeke out there, that's to be seen. But you won. You won the lottery. It's the same thing now. Like you invest in Rachaad White, a little bit different. Lenny's dealing with his injuries. If Rachaad White ends up taking all those touches, you won the lottery. Great offensive line, somewhat. Brady likes to pass to the running back. You drafted him like 12th or 14th round, probably later. You won, right? But before that, if you're investing in somebody like that before those rounds, you have to wait and pray. And that's what happened to a lot of the Pollard owners. You're playing him in the flex, but you can't guarantee what you're going to get out of him. They kept telling you, they're going to play him in the slot. They didn't really do that.
I kind of disagree with that a little bit because last year he showed that he can still be a capable flex player, like you said. Yeah. I never disagree that he wasn't a flex player. I don't understand where that
narrative...
But
if you're drafting him...
I don't understand where that narrative
came
from.
Starters, like consistent starters at their position, then you're overpaying. That was the only argument I was making this entire time. And I wasn't even making that with the mock draft. I'm just talking in general. In the mock draft, it doesn't matter what you could have drafted him in the 2nd round, for all I care. Nobody cares about the mock draft.
It doesn't matter, but it also kind of tells you a little bit if somebody is reacting a certain way.
Me and my wife drafted Taysom Hill in like the 4th round.
Your wife had never played fantasy football before. I'm glad that we're comparing the same things right now.
Yeah, we are.
I'm glad that we're
because it was a mock draft.
It don't matter. Why do you keep saying it was just a mock draft? You know me. I was doing the mocking. I was trying to do the best I could. I wanted to learn. I was really trying to invest. You can't lie. You cannot lie. When I was doing those mock drafts, I was trying to learn because it was my first year drafting. Yeah. I wanted to get a lot of practice in. Yeah. So, of course, me learning, and you react a certain way about a player that I draft around the 10th round, of course, that's going to make me go, oh, shoot. Maybe I shouldn't draft this person.
That one moment is so defining compared to other conversations we have about players.
Because I don't know why this one stood out to me, but I remember I liked Tony Pollard. I liked him going into the year, and I think I was actually planning on maybe taking him in a few leagues. So when I took him there and I saw your reaction, like I said, I think you're like the fantasy guy because I'm not in fantasy. It's my first year, so when you say when you react somewhat like that, I'm gonna go. Maybe that's not a smart move for me to be taking him, Tony Pollard. So then I just avoided him.
I'm just gonna have to be super analytical now whenever we do.
No, now I feel like I'm competent to my own stuff. Me and you have been disagreeing left and right recently when it comes to fantasy football. We've been talking about trades and we disagree now. I'm comfortable now with my own opinions because I now understand everything about it. But at that time period, I didn't. I didn't understand. So when we're doing a mock draft and I'm trying to learn, and you go, out of all the people you took Tony Pollard, it took you this long just to take Tony Pollard. That's gonna make me go, well, he's not really that big on Tony Pollard, so let me not take Tony Pollard.
Too is like, I don't even know who was in the area. It's even funnier if we look at the area and it's like players that even not even comparable to Tony Pollard. So there might be context clues, but I have no clue now.
Yeah, we have no idea. But I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that that's the reason why I thought about it and that reflected with me because it was at a time of learning from me and I was learning from you. So anytime you liked a player, my mind went, ooh, Amal likes that player. Naturally. Isn't that natural? If you're learning something, aren't you going to do that?
Yeah.
So.
Don't make jokes, folks.
Don't do that. Don't do that because I'm telling you what really, really happened. All jokes aside. You can joke now, but I'm just saying, like, at that time.
I didn't realize that I was making that much of an impact.
It wasn't a joke because it wasn't funny. I didn't laugh.
I realized that I'm not really a funny guy.
It wasn't funny. So I didn't laugh.
I don't have the right humor.
How you gonna make a joke and then not even go?
It could have even been something where I was hoping to get Tony Pollard on the turn, and I say something snarky like that. It could have even been that, but I don't know.
It could have been. And like I said, I'm an overthinker. I will overthink things.
No clue.
But I heard what I heard, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't take
really
Tony Pollard.
This man's draft season.
I don't know about that because the majority of my teams are doing better.
I was about to say, I don't know if you really missed out on much. I mean, obviously now he's balling, but like at least you didn't invest in somebody in the 5th and had to wait 5 or 6 weeks for him to pop. So
I would have been more than happy to wait for what's his name? Etienne. I would be more than happy to wait for Etienne for 5 to 6 weeks. I would have been more than happy to wait for D-Hop for 5 to 6 weeks.
You wouldn't have said that week 3 of the
No, I would have been stretching because I was stressing about freaking Austin Eckler for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were saying otherwise. No. Dang. I really stopped drafting Tony Pollard, huh? That's next level. Yeah. That's next level influence. I should really be like,
when somebody that knows something, a lot of things, and someone that doesn't know a lot, what's the smart thing to do?
To all 396 of y'all, to all 396 of y'all, I'll be more careful with my words.
What?
I'll be more careful with my words.
Nah, this man acting really different right now because that's how anybody is. That's human nature. Yeah. Someone knows something, someone doesn't know something, and you're not funny, so you're not making it.
You're right. I'm not. I thought it was hilarious. It clearly wasn't.
You don't even remember it that well.
That's tragic. You barely do. You barely do. You remember 2 words.
I barely would.
And then said,
How good am I at memory? How well do I remember things?
Good enough to know, like, he chuckled at this. So I'm never drafting this player ever again.
I'll remember something like that. I'll remember
God. That's wild.
Anyways, so what's the games next week? What are we betting on next week? I took another dub last week, by the way.
Did I send you it? I don't think I sent you it.
You probably didn't, but
I gotta check.
So we have. Let me see.
I'll take the Titans versus Green Bay.
What do you got?
You know what's funny? I didn't check the score. With my luck, you checked the score and Green Bay made a comeback.
It's funny because I'm over here looking at the games. I had to go back up and I was like, just to double check. What if Green Bay came back?
That's the thing. Clearly they didn't because he didn't take the bet.
That would have been nice though. I'd have been like that. Let me see what's good here.
I am interested in Kansas City. I think they played the Chargers.
Oh, I like Chiefs.
Okay.
Cowboys versus the Vikings.
Come on. You like the Cowboys.
I don't like the Cowboys at all.
You just talked about Tony Pollard for
I have
25 minutes.
It's a primetime game, though.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
Never mind.
It's a 3:25 game.
That's primetime enough. I'm good. Only 1 p.m. games for Kirk. I don't want nothing else. Nada. If there's an opportunity he's on TV, I don't want it.
Wait, you really? What about
I'm off that.
Monday Night International Series, Mexico.
That's Niners versus
Cardinals.
Niners. Come on now. Which, to speak on our parlay last week, because we did the flip parlay, you probably saw that I even put the parlay up on the screen. It was cool. It's the first time I edited anything onto the video. I knew you saw that for sure. We lost. We lost the parlay. Obviously, the Eagles lost.
The Raiders lost.
The Raiders lost. Those were the two big. Those were the two big ones actually. Yeah. Minnesota won, so you were right on that, even with Josh Allen playing. But yeah, the Raiders choked it, and then the Eagles choked it, and I think one other team actually choked it too. But
I'm actually leaning the Cowboys game. I'll take Cowboys over the Vikings.
I'll take Vikings, and is it in Dallas?
It's in Minnesota.
I'll take the Vikings.
Shit.
I like it a lot. Actually, I think it's a huge Justin Jefferson day. Massive. And I know that's crazy because last week was a huge Justin Jefferson day.
See, here's what I'm banking on. I think that pass rush is going to be on Kirk Cousins' ass, and I think Kirk Cousins is going to kind of fold.
It's a good thing to bet on.
So
it's a good thing to bet on.
I think, and also I think that they have plenty of weapons on the offensive side. I think they can get it done. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I don't know. I've told you before. I don't know if I told them. I like watching Undisputed, and I love seeing Skip Bayless go on there disappointed in his team. I love to see it. But if I think they're going to win, I think they're going to win. I'll bet on it.
I'll cook up the flip. I'm going Minnesota again. They did me right last week. So I'm going Minnesota.
I just think that they're 8-1. Like, are they really going to...
Can they be 9-1? Kind of. If you think about it, you know what's wild? Minnesota gets no love. Right? No Obviously, the Eagles get love, and now they're getting a little bit of hate. The one team that Minnesota lost to, 8-1. That's the only team. But Minnesota's beaten Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they smacked up the Bills now. So now they're like official.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. They still not really getting love like that.
They're not. Now, if Minnesota comes out here and beats Dallas, I think that's a pretty...
Yeah.
That's an eye-opener.
I'm going to put flip money on it, too.
You've been saying flip a lot.
I like flip. I want to get sponsored. I even put flip money on a UFC parlay, but that flopped, too. I'm not really the best bettor. That's what I'm realizing.
It's all right.
Prize picks have gotten crazy. You can do 6-leg ones now. 25 times the money.
I've been I cooked up something for the Eagles game.
Did you hit?
I didn't know that the Eagles were gonna have the ball half the time.
Oh yeah. That would hurt. I had Devontae Smith. His reception yard line, his receiving yard line was 53.5. You know how much he ended with? 53. Actually, less because he fumbled, I think. But at one point, he was at 53 on the dot. His line was 53.5. And that's the over.
Only you.
No, always. Or I had one where it was Paul George points over 24.5. He got to 23. And then the other 2 legs I hit. But yeah, with the 6-leg ones now, if you put $5 on it, you could win $125. I'm finna cook some 6-leggers up.
You shouldn't. Tell me which one to do. I still got $10 left on Prize Picks.
Justin Jefferson.
I have $10 left for the entire season, guys.
Justin Jefferson over his yardage. Kelsey over his receptions this week.
I don't like Justin Jefferson over.
Why not?
If Kirk Cousins can't get the ball off.
But that's not gonna happen.
It's an elite defense. Do not sit here and tell me.
The Bills aren't?
Do not sit here and tell me.
No, but my question is the Bills aren't?
The beaten up Bills. Both
beaten up.
Safety's out. Corner is out.
They've gotten people back. You know Tre'Davious White played last week, right?
First game back after not playing for like a year.
They had Von Miller on that line. You really don't have the Bills defense.
I'm not saying that they're not elite. I'm saying that they're solid. But I'm just saying Dallas also has a very elite defense as well.
I know. We watched Trevon Diggs give up 3 touchdowns to Christian Watson. So, it's possible to get the ball off against them. I don't know. I just don't understand, how we go from they lost to Green Bay last week to it's impossible to beat this defense.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Who throwing some strong words out there? I'm saying
it seem crazy.
My gut feeling right now is I don't like Justin Jefferson over because it's probably going to be at 95 to 100.
It's going to be 89.5.
Over on a very elite defense. I don't know. I will say though, I always say bet on your guys. So if that's
Minnesota's in a dome, so we don't have to worry about weather. If you think the defense is like that, I don't think they're just going to run the ball every play. They're still going to have to throw it. And I have faith in Justin Jefferson getting moved around the field enough to get his yardage. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a guarantee.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's your pick. I respect the pick. I have a bad feeling about it. I'm not going to go that route. He's at 95.5.
That's pretty high, but I'd still.
I
ride.
just don't love it. Right? I don't. For some reason, there's something about it. And Dallas does have a good proven defense. I'm not just pulling some shit out my ass. Like they do have a good
They have
defense.
a proven defense.
Yeah. So what was I looking at before that? Before you.
I'm going Kelsey receptions because no MVS possibly, but definitely no Mecole Hardman, no Juju. If Toney has lines, I look at that. I feel like his yardage line still probably hasn't gone up that much.
What I had for the Eagles game, I had Jalen Hurts over 283.5 all purpose.
Had it, and he did not get close.
Dallas Goedert, more than 4 receptions.
I had that too.
He had 3.
He did not get that.
Taylor Heineke, rushing yards.
I think I had that as well, and a different one.
And he
also gave himself up with 5 yards, so that got deducted.
It was 15.5, and he had 10.
That got deducted, but he gave himself.
So he might have even had it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No,
it's all good.
I like Kelsey receptions. I like
Kelsey receptions.
Maybe possible Toney yardage line, depending on what it's at. If it's anything under 50, I like that a lot.
Toney who?
Kadarius Toney.
Okay. Because they might still have his little low now.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be adjusted yet. Isaiah Pacheco, if they have his rushing yardage still low.
Thank you again, by the way.
Yeah, I would invest in that. I like Justin Jefferson's receiving over. I understand where you're coming from.
I wonder where his receptions are at.
His receptions are probably at 6.5. I would lean with even the receptions are kind of enticing. Does Tampa play this week? Because I might go to I think Tampa might be on bye, actually.
They're on bye.
Yeah, because I have a league with Tampa and with Brady and Trevor Lawrence, and I had to find quarterbacks for both.
Oh, they don't have receptions yet?
No, they usually wait till like day of, I guess not. But yeah, bet on good players. Prize picks. On Flip, like I said, I prefer to cook up a Flip parlay, honestly. Niners, I'm riding with the Niners again.
You want us to go through the games?
Yeah.
All right.
Just how we close out.
Philly versus the Colts. I think this will be a good. Ooh, bad run defense with JT. Eagles still.
The last time we bet against the Colts. I'm joking. It was the Raiders. Yeah, Why did you talk us into the Raiders?
I thought the Colts would be straight trash. They don't seem to.
The Raiders have been the worst.
But they have who has more talent.
At this point, who has more talent?
I think the team with Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, with their current starting quarterback, has the more talent.
Mm.
Then the situation where we have a 40-year-old quarterback that was benched and now all of a sudden is starting now, with the running back that has been disappointing all year, and their wide receiver one, Michael Pittman, hasn't been really much at all either.
But they have Paris Campbell, so.
Yeah, you know what? I was in the same boat as you. I didn't think he was gonna be a god, but clearly he's.
You know what I'm leaning towards now. Bet on the team with the better offensive line, because the Raiders' offensive line coming into the year was 31st ranked, and I thought it wouldn't have mattered. Clearly matters. So
it matters. Which luckily, the Eagles have a better offensive line.
The Eagles are ranked number 1. The Colts are like top 5.
Yeah.
So they're neck and neck. So if you're really trying to split the difference, you go with the weapons, you go with the quarterback, and the Eagles have it. But it's a get right game for them as well. So I'm comfortable putting them in the parlay. I just had to poke fun at the fact we bet against the Colts last week and they smashed the Raiders.
Which is my fault. I was like, no, that's my bad.
But we'll go Philly confidently.
Rams versus the Saints.
Don't care, but Saints.
Rams.
Yeah. Don't care.
Chicago Bears and the Falcons.
Don't care, but
Bears. Commanders and the Texans. I think.
Don't care. Don't care. I don't have.
Don't even have an opinion on it.
Don't have a pick. No.
Jets and the Patriots.
Don't care, but the Jets gonna sweep them boys. Actually, I don't. Actually, no. The Jets lost really bad last time.
Patriots.
I'm skipping that one, but yeah.
I'm not betting on that one, but I'm just saying Patriots.
Actually, shoot, why not Patriots? I'm gonna add them to the flip probably.
And then Lions and the Giants.
I'm going Giants.
Lions.
I'm going Giants.
Lions.
I'm going. You know what I'm going? Saquon's rushing over. If that thing is not at
100, that's a good point.
Put that money on the kid.
That's a good point.
He's gonna go crazy. He had 156 last week. he might beat that. Speaking of, Prize Picks had his line at 850.5 for the year. He's past that. There's still 6 weeks left, Matt.
Did you ended up doing it, right?
Yeah, I had him hit the over. I was like, if this man's healthy, there's no way. There's no way he gets less than 1,000
How much
yards
you went off
rushing.
of that?
Oh, it's not over yet. It's full year lines for like.
So just in case y'all accidentally.
So it's him. It's CD Lamb over 7.5 receiving touchdowns. He has 5 right now. It's Brandon Ayuk over 4.5 receiving touchdowns. He has 4. It's Justin Herbert over 5,000 passing yards. That one's shaky right now.
That one is kind of.
And then Derek Carr over 4,500 passing yards. He is not hitting that.
And that.
But it was a free play to win $500.
Yeah, you can't hit him.
I could get 4 out of 5 and then win like $100.
Okay, that'd be cool.
That would be nice. I think Justin Herbert could still get there.
Anyways, the Lions or the Giants.
I'm going Giants. Vanilla Vic. I don't know if you've seen that. I've been calling that man the light-skinned Lamar if he was more coordinated, but nobody rocked with him.
That man's so goofy.
Vanilla Vic, man. Shouts out to Saquon for that one. You didn't see that video, did you?
I didn't. But
No, they were talking, and he's like, if I make it into the end zone, I better see Vanilla Vic down there. And he's like, I got you. So, Vanilla Vic. Shouts out.
That's funny. Carolina and Baltimore.
Be more.
Yeah,
Baltimore. Be more. You never heard of yeah.
Carolina, that's right. Baltimore.
About to say I was going to send this to Josh Lake.
Oh, how funny. Cleveland and Buffalo.
Now that it's in a dome.
Buffalo.
But before, people were roasting the crap out of that game.
It's about the heights.
The 6, which, that's not even how it works. It wasn't just going to freaking be 6 feet of snow.
Did I send you one of them?
You might have, but somebody's like, Devin Singletary, 5'7".
Oh, I did.
Something, 5'9".
This is what got me right here.
It didn't make any sense. There's no way that's how it was going to work out.
It was good though.
But it was funny. And I commend y'all for it because the meme was great. And it was somebody like Isaiah McKenzie down the field, and it's just his hand sticking out the snow.
I mean, Isaiah McKenzie is small as hell.
You get eclipsed. But hey, now that it's in a dome, which we don't really gotta speak about it in length. We'll go into this in a different episode. But Josh Allen has had like 3 red zone interceptions in the last 2 games. He's been folded in the
concerning, but I'm not worried about him.
The elbow is concerning to me. I wonder how much is like,
actually
he's thinking about it. Yeah, I wonder how much it's affecting his play. But
I don't know. We'll see. He had a hell of a game last game, though.
No, he did. It was definitely a game of the year so far.
Did his thing. Las Vegas and Denver.
Who's gonna win that game? You know what's funny? I don't know if this is a real quote where they were talking to Nathaniel Hack and he's like, "Somebody's got to win." It's like, do they know y'all could tie?
I really could tie it to 0.
Yeah, y'all could very well have taking knees at this point.
I like y'all Raiders going into this year. Y'all been so
disappointing. Hey, Devontae, you still been balling, and I care about
Devontae
fantasy.
still is balling, and Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs had a rough week last week. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
He didn't.
Week before that, there was a week where he had like 5 points.
Okay. Well, it wasn't last week though.
Okay. What did he do last week?
I just know he has a touchdown.
He had a touchdown? All right, cool.
He had a touchdown.
Yeah, he did score a touchdown. But
let me double check.
Anyway,
I could be wrong. Let me just double check real quick.
He might have. I feel like he might have. They did lose like a back and forth game. So
yeah, he had a 6 catches for 28 yards. I see you, Josh Jacobs.
No, he is a decent pass catcher. It's kind of wild they were forcing him to not be in that role so they could put what's his name.
Kenyon Drake?
No, it was the kid before Kenyon Drake, Jalen Richard or whatever his name is. They kept forcing him to be the pass catching back when you had Josh Jacobs. But all right, cool.
Here's the big one: Bengals and the Steelers. I'm taking Steelers. TJ Watt's coming back. It's gonna be a big game for us. I'm excited.
Honestly, bro, I don't want to bet on that game.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I wouldn't bet on it, but I don't really want to get involved in that one at all. I can't even choose. They couldn't beat him with Chase, and I still haven't seen the offense look too good since Chase has gone down. So Yeah.
And TJ Watt.
I'm staying away from it.
We already know about the Cowboys and the Vikings. I'm going
Vikings.
Cowboys. He's going Vikings. KC versus the Chargers. I think KC is
Yeah.
Niners and Cardinals. I think Niners are
Clearly
going to have
Niners.
complete control over that game.
Yeah.
Unless they're in somewhere in Mexico, something happens and.
Yeah, it's high altitude, so I mean, their running game they could get worn down, but
Maybe somebody might have the shits or something.
yeah, no, man.
Um,
I honestly, to close it out, Niners, Chiefs. I'm okay putting Patriots, Eagles. There was one other game we're really confident in.
Bears.
I'm not. I don't want to put my money on the Bears. Let's keep it 4.
I don't think it was any more. Oh,
Let's
Ravens.
keep it 4. Ravens. Okay, so 5. Ravens, Niners. This is hard to remember these teams. Patriots.
Ravens, Niners, KC, Patriots, and Eagles.
Yeah. So that's the 5. That's the 5 play. I'll throw it up here when I put a play in it.
Right here.
Yeah.
With the big explosion. You're gonna edit this, right?
I don't know how to do explosions, but I'll have it move back and forth because you want to be funny. Nah, but to close out, I don't know if you watched the 49ers
should be
game.
a top 4 round pick, top round pick going forward.
Yeah, I expect him to go higher next year. It's another year of Zeke being older, of course.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell split touches almost 50-50 last week. Actually, I think Elijah Mitchell got 1 extra touch. Concerning? As somebody who might have invested in Christian McCaffrey to be super heavily involved on offense, and now he's in a situation where they're just trying to,
No. I mean, you know my thoughts. I don't like split backfields. Not when they're 50-50. This looks like it's a big 50-50 split backfield. Don't love it. I think CMC will be a solid RB1, maybe a good RB2, but I don't think he's going to be that number 1 running back that a lot of people were hoping for, and what they were showing. He was showing us some signs. So I think he'll be a top 10 running back. I don't think he'll be a top 5 because of splitting backfield.
I just bought him in a dynasty league.
I still think he's going to be viable. He's going to be good, but we see what's going on over there in Green Bay. Like I said, that was supposed to be the ideal one, and it's not ideal. So I do think that he's going to be a solid running back, but I just don't think he's going to be that number 1 that everyone was hoping for. His ceiling is now a little capped.
It is.
So
I traded for him in a league. I got him, DJ Moore, and Garrett Wilson. And I gave away Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, a first and a second. Yeah.
I was liking it at first.
Yeah.
Who'd you get? You got CMC and who?
Garrett Wilson and DJ Moore. Yeah. I still have 2 first-round picks next year, though. If this team, I cooked it up something nasty. Like, I semi-tanked and got, 4 first-round picks going into this year. But I have Waddle on the team. I have McLaurin on the team. I had CD. I don't know if I have many more.
Who's your quarterback?
Tua.
Running backs?
I had Trey Lance, too. Of course, he went down.
Of course.
Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you chilling.
That's the top 2.
If you can have CMC as your RB2 right now, I feel like you're living life.
Yeah.
If you're relying on him to be your RB1, that's when it gets a little scary, which a lot of people did. I mean, you drafted him probably a top 3 running back. But some people, I think that I was able to get. I forgot who I have. I have CMC. Who do you know what I'm talking about? In my league, not in my league personally, but in one of the leagues I have.
No, I'd have to look.
But I feel like I have CMC in a really
important
other running back. So I was able to have CMC more in my RB2 slot. I want to say Austin Eckler.
Yeah, it's possible. I think it's that.
I might be because if that was something that you were able to do, you're living then. If you were hoping for him to be your RB1, then you did RB Hero, whatever that draft was, and you did CMC, and then you just tanked it. Might be kind of scary right now. But
something to pay attention to going forward, especially
he'll still be solid.
This week
he'll still be solid
against the Cardinals, Mexico City. I think this is one of the best situations to have 50-50 split. High altitude, you'll always have somebody fresh off the field. You won't have to put somebody into the dirt, workhorse them in that altitude. Could be good.
I mean, we're talking about this from a fantasy perspective, but from an actual football perspective, that's
It's
amazing.
beautiful.
That's amazing.
Elijah Mitchell, like I said, man, the Thunder and the Lightning combo can't really be beat.
That's amazing. From a real football perspective, if you can cap off CMC at like 15 rushes and let him just catch a few balls and let him do his thing, that's a damn good weapon to have. So they keep him
It's
healthy.
been hurting Debo though. I don't know if you've noticed.
It has been hurting Debo, and I
Production.
think that with CMC there, I think it tanks a lot of people there. Debo, I think it tanks Ayuk a little bit. I think it tanks.
Kittle's been actually reverting to just being a blocking tight end again too. So
Kittle had his little. He had a couple games a few weeks ago, where he seemed like he was kind of coming back, and now he's kind of blocking again. So CMC does hurt the Niners when it comes to from fantasy perspectives. If you have a lot of Niners players, but I mean, if
it's
you're a
not
Niners
about
fan
fantasy.
though,
I was about to say not about fantasy.
you're-
Otto, you guys are living life. You're chasing the top of the division now. Y'all just have to catch Gino. Right?
y'all will.
Yeah, y'all just have to catch Gino. I feel like y'all will though. This has been NFL Week 10. Teal and Steel Week 10. We appreciate y'all for the support. Like I said, on the way to 400 subscribers. Thank y'all for the support. Y'all don't watch it, Teal and Steel. Y'all need to watch it, Teal and Steel. I know the UFC stuff's fun. But turn into some football. Why not? We'll probably post some shorter football stuff coming up soon. But I'd like to thank y'all for the support. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.